This is Casper de Norre, and you're watching the Chat with Chaps live show.
Good evening and welcome to the Chat with Chaps live show. How are you doing, guys? I'm your host, Joe Zampa, and this evening we've got a fantastic show prepared for you with fantastic co-hosts. First of all, guys, don't forget, please like and share and make sure you subscribe to the channel. As you know, we make financially, this channel goes to Cancer Research UK, so you can do your bit just by liking and subscribing. Thanks to Spectrum VR, our sponsors to the show as well. And first up, I want to introduce the one and only, our Northern correspondent, as we always call him, Benjamin Green. Ben, how does it feel to be here on time?
I'm taking no blame for that, and I'm firmly pushing it to Jesper. That is his fault.
Right, so let the listeners know what happened there while you're sitting there watching TV.
Yeah, I was sitting there with my feet up, chilling out. I thought the live had been changed from 7 to 8 o'clock because Jesper said I'll be on at 7:50. Me just being a complete wally, didn't realise there was a time difference. So I was sat there, and Joe's going, "Can you hurry up and get in here, please? We start in 2 minutes." So yeah.
Brilliant. Cheers, Ben. Thanks for coming on. And fresh back after missing his last show is the one and only Stato Stephen. How you doing, Stato? Any new stats for us this week?
Not quite stats, but I just want to say Chris did it in his post-match. Big thank you to David Sims and his son. I cannot for the life of me remember his son's name, so I do apologise for absolutely mauling me on Saturday when both Caleb Taylor and Tristan Crama scored. Thank you for the donation and the support. I really appreciate it. But and aside from that, very good, Joe. I think this one's going to be a good show.
Good stuff. Yeah, I think it's definitely a buzz in the air. And back once again, the lyrical master, the Danish destroyer, and also content creator who created that little intro there with Caleb Taylor. Well done. It's the one and only Jesper Demgaard. How you doing?
I'm good, yeah. Still buzzing after Saturday. I mean, what a game that was. I mean, I was shaking in the end. I mean, the adrenaline was, phenomenal. It was, wow, what a game. I mean, I can't remember last time it was just the whole game. It was a great game of football, great advertisement for the championship as well. And then, of course, a last-minute winner was, just perfect to top it off, really. So happy to be here and to have a good show, hopefully.
Yeah, makes nice, refreshing change. We talk about something positive and nice to sort of talk to the listeners about. So, without further ado, let's introduce the listeners to the show. So, a quick hello to the guys. First through the door is Carl Bracey, as always. How you doing, Carl? Good to see you, mate. The one and only John FC. How are you, John? Lovely £10 donation. Really kind of you, mate. Rest in peace, Billy Bonds, a true gentleman. And kickstarted the careers of our young Lions. Absolutely. When you hear the stories with Paul Liefeld and Ronnie Ball and Joe Dolan, I think it is, and a few others, he gave them their first sort of professional contracts. I think he's a big part in also paving the way for these guys coming through. So, obviously, our respect to Billy Bonds' family and loved ones, of course. Next through the door is Richard Smith. Richard, just down in Amsterdam en route to Germany. So it has been one of our greatest games. Now watched the second half 7 times. You and I both. Billy Smith, how you doing, Billy? Jeff Chandler, friend of the show. Hope you're well. Leslie, good to see you, mate. Dave Turner, hope you're well. Alex, MFC, bang on time again. Jeff Cook, I always say friend of Disco. He's a friend of ours as well. He can be our friend as well, can't he? The one and only Chris Brown, hope you're well, mate. David, good to see you. Mark, hope you're well. Benji, good to see you as well. Chaos Luke, hope you're well, mate. Andrew Herbert, hope you're good. Max, good to see you. Mark Murphy, hope you're well, mate. George, good to see you, mate. Neo Quest, there's a few coming through today. Craig Jones, hope you're well, Craig. Hope it was good with you, mate. Lee Joy, Rob Morgan, Andrew Cahill. It's a full house tonight. There you go. Guys, loads of comments come through. Obviously, forgive me, I won't be able to read all your comments. I'm just going to introduce you guys. John MFC, good to see you. And I think we're pretty much there. John Parr, good to see you, good mate. There you go. Colin Taylor, I think I said Colin Lee, good to see you. Brilliant. Andy Roberts, here we go. Look, I think we're pretty much there, guys. So again, Jonathan, good to see you. Right, so guys, before we discuss Saturday's game, can you notice anything different in my screen at the moment? Listeners, can you see anything different without me giving it too much away? Anything different? No? Anything different?
Your shirt, mate?
Yay! You can't see it. It's number 31, Ray's Bangura Williams. So today I've just come back from the player sponsorship. I sponsored Ray's Bangura Williams. Brilliant day. Really enjoyed it. I mean, guys, if you haven't done a player sponsor before, I know it's a little bit expensive, but if you do like a share with someone, it's worth doing. It's really good fun. It's well organized. You start off by watching them do a training session. Then you have Alex Neil sort of chatting before. Everyone asked him a few questions, and he answered the questions to all the people sitting there, all the fans. And of course, you then sit there with in your table with your player. I actually had Ray's Bangura Williams, Zach Sturge on my table, and Will Smallbone as well. Really nice guys. Will was on the other side. So I didn't speak a lot to him, but obviously he's still got his hamstring injury. He's going to be out for some time still, for a good period. But I was next to Zach and Ray. So I'll tell you what, two lovely gentlemen. They're both 21 years of age each, and they're so mature for their age. They speak so well. They get on really well. They're really good friends as well. And here's a quick picture from today. That's me and my boy Race. And there's one with Zach Sturge as well. Obviously, this was done in the new executive lounge. But again, very well organised, very good. And of course, you get your signed frame shirt as well, which was really nice. And I keep saying I'm going to stop after sort of doing Zian Fleming, Roman Essay, Tanganga, and now Ray. So that was it. And of course, George Sam was my first one long time ago. So
hold on a minute. So every player that you sponsor, we sell them.
I was just about to say
we do, yeah. So if there's any Millwall players listening at the moment that want to double their wages or get a move to a Premiership club, just give me, just send me a little brown envelope next time you see me at the den, and I will buy your shirt for next season. So
just on Zach Sturge, before you go into that, it was a very good piece. I don't know if anyone else saw it. Benjamin Bloom did on Instagram about Zach Sturge. Just a very complimentary piece. Said he's a Premier League wing back in the making. Obviously coming from Chelsea, seems like he's got a settled home. But if anyone hasn't seen that, go and check it out. It's on Ben Bloom's Instagram page.
Brilliant, definitely.
Yeah, it's
check that out.
Very good.
Definitely go check that out. So so guys, let's crack on with the show, shall we? So first up, let's recap the results. So 3-2 against Southampton Stato. A dramatic finish at the end by Tristan Crama, scoring in the 97th minute. By the way, Tristan Crama was there today, and Bex was sponsoring him, and she was on his table. She was like a love-struck puppy. Honestly, she was dribbling in the mouth. Her mum was next to her with a bib, literally wiping her mouth all the time. This dribble just coming out. Oh, honestly, you should have seen it. I'm joking, Bex, if you're listening. Evening, Bex. But there is a picture somewhere, so we will get up on the next show of Bex with Tristan. But yeah, going to yourself, Stato. What should you make of our performance on Saturday?
Well, I think first of all, I think it was one of the best games of football that we've seen at the Den in general for a long time. I thought that the standard was pretty good. Both goalkeepers as well, I thought were pretty good. In terms of our performance, first half, I think we should have been ahead. I think we were the better side in the first half. Second half started obviously a little bit slower. They scored, but just a phenomenal team performance. Some cracking goals, some good football. Something that we haven't seen a lot of over recent weeks. There's been a little bit of criticism over, some of the performances. Neil got the tactics spot on, and also towards the end, and I know it's a bit easier when you've got a couple of attackers on the bench, but he made attacking subs to try and win the game. We weren't trying to hold on or just accept a point. And look, loads of people have said that there's been, people are buzzing still. I've seen Caleb Taylor's goal probably about 40 times since Saturday, and you watch it every time, and you just think it's just unbelievable. It's absolutely unbelievable, and to be there, the scenes, the celebrations, it was just unreal, absolutely unreal. Can't ask for much more, really, against the top side.
I agree.
But
I agree.
and to your point, there's that so about when Caleb's goal went in as well. When you hear the roar at the den when the ball goes in, it was different when Caleb. It was more like a surprise. Wow! It wasn't the
Shock.
usual. It was shock really more than anything else, because we haven't seen something like that in a long time. And then from a centre back as well, it was out of this world. I was for 10 seconds I was just sitting there thinking, what just happened? It was fantastic.
I'm not joking on that, Jess. But I literally, when the ball hit the back of the net, everyone's celebrating. I literally stood in the stand, literally like this, thinking, unbelievable.
It's where the ball was presented to, and I think it was Casper that played the ball across there, and everyone was going like shoot, like you hear a few people going shoot, and he only did shoot. I felt like saying no, don't shoot, not from there. But he actually smashed it straight in, didn't he, Ben?
Get off mute. Yeah, absolutely, mate. It was a Coops at Sheffield United moment, wasn't it? Like it went to him, and everyone's going shoot, and exactly like you, mate. I'm going, no, don't shoot. And he flies in the top corner, and you just, I mean, what a strike! If that doesn't win goal of the season, not our goal of the season, the Championship goal of the season, I will be amazed. So there needs to be context to it, like centre half doing that. But yeah, like the boys have already said, unbelievable atmosphere. It's nice to win in front of a full house. A very good Southampton side who have been on excellent form. First time, was it since 2021 that we've won at home after being behind? So yeah, just buzzing, mate. Still buzzing now. To be sat third in the league. I don't want to say given all the negativity, but there's been a bit of it hasn't been negative, but it's just been a bit flat considering where we are. Do you know what I mean? So to get such a good performance, such a good result, a day that was obviously buzzing at the ground. Obviously, I wasn't there, but everyone has said it was been buzzing. I hope that gives the players a bit of a lift, but more importantly, us. Great result, mate. Just can't say any more than that.
Just on that, Ben, leaving the ground, I don't think, and the listeners might be able to confirm this, but I don't think I've ever seen the outside of the ground after a game quite how it was on Saturday. Like everyone was like, people just didn't want to go home. Like all the stalls were still open, like the food and the bars, and it just everyone just left the ground absolutely in just the best frame of mind. Everyone just thought, what we just seen is incredible.
Well, you get a few of them doing the old monk chant, the old as you're leaving the ground. It's just like hearing it from all sorts of areas, isn't you? From the back, the side, going off into the ground. Just want to come to you in regards to the formation and tactics that Alex Neil started with. So he kind of went with this kind of 4-1 sort of shape. Which meant that we were able to press Southampton's goal kicks in particular quite high up the pitch, which is quite you thought it was quite a good tactical shift for Alex Neil. What did you make of that? Can you see that being an ongoing formation going forward?
Well, I can, but I think it look more like our usual formation, like this 4-2-3-1, or you can call it a 4-1-4-1 as well. If we drop a bit deeper with wingers, but I think it was his intentions to close the sort of the middle of the pitch and not allow them to play through the middle, because I think that's what they wanted. They also managed to do it a few times in the first half. I think first 5-10 minutes they managed to get through a couple of times and had a few half chances as well. But then after that, we got the pressing right from the front. They start giving the ball away. We started going higher. We were being more courageous up front and pressing them higher as well, which helped. And I just felt like during the game, the whole game actually, I thought we had more energy than them. And I think maybe that's also why he, in the end, then put on 2 strikers, because I think he felt that it was there for the taking. If anyone were to win that game, it was going to be us. And it was so refreshing to see a manager not settling for a point, because he knew there was more in it. It was that type of game, So I think tactical this time. I think he got a spot on. Full credit to him and full credit to him for going for the 3 points, which I think we fully deserved in the end.
Brilliant. Cheers, Jesper. Ben, I come to you before I come to you. Just seeing George mention it. Alex Neil out for 6 weeks after running down the touchline. He just pulled a hamstring, another hamstring tear. He was on good form today, Alex Neil. Again, answering questions and the way he was speaking very positively, about challenging for, dare I say, automatic promotion. He's definitely in a good headspace at the moment. And I think he talked a lot today about encouraging our players to believe, to have that kind of mindset, Ben, to kind of thinking promotion as opposed to kind of like playoffs, I guess, aiming high. But going back to the game though, Ben, did you spot that tactical sort of change in that formation where we did press high? I mean, what I learned is that Casper was playing in number 6 role by himself and was playing in the pivot role, so he was getting the ball, receiving it, playing it right, playing it left, and you had Dan Kelly and Reyes Bangura playing almost like it's 2 number 8s, and that's why they're so high up at the pitch. Did you notice that when you watched it? And obviously, how effective was it in your opinion?
Yeah, and just to comment on the tactical tweet, that we haven't been critical of Alex now, but there's been questions raised, right?
Yeah,
over the last couple of weeks. So for him to make the changes and be bold, not only with his subs, but the initial formation, and I suppose he was kind of forced into the starting 11 in some ways with the injuries, but the tactical changes, he was bold in that. He absolutely went and tried to match Southampton up high up the pitch. And listen, it really worked, mate. We really did cause him problems with our press. So, listen, as I said, we've been quite critical of him in recent weeks. I thought the starting 11 was spot on. I thought the formation, after seeing it sort of play out after about 5-10 minutes, was spot on. We'd obviously done our homework on them as well, right? So, it was perfect. And just whilst I finish and before it goes to Jonesy, I think it was Andy who asked, is that a picture of all the shirts? Yes, it is, Andy.
Where is it? Sorry.
Andy asked in the comments. He said, is that a picture of all the old shirts? It is.
Right. Okay. Nice one. Cheers, that Ben. And Stato, just want to get your thoughts on that tactical change and that formation setup. Is it something that you feel we can sort of carry on playing it, or does it determine who we're playing against to make sure that formation works?
I think it's definitely dependent on who we're playing against. Dan Kelly, for all the hype about him coming in, he's not played to come in, and everyone expected him to be playing next to Casper, but he was deployed kind of, as you say, alongside Bangura Williams to stop the Southampton press, press Southampton to stop them coming out. Now, of course, teams get out. No one's perfect, but they did such a good job at it. But for example, last week when we played Sheffield Wednesday, they're not going to necessarily be playing the ball out from the back. We're not going to need to be pressing the goalkeeper high and the centre-backs high. So I think you have to kind of look at who you're playing if you're going to go with the high press. But it's certainly shown that if teams want to come to the Den and play that style of football, we have a way that we feel that will to combat it. Okay, it worked Saturday. If it works every time, Alex Neil looks like a genius. But certainly the next time a side like that comes to the Den, I'd be more than happy for him to go for that, setup. And on Dan Kelly in it, I actually thought he started the game quite poorly. It took him a little while to get into the game, but something clicked, and he was absolutely unbelievable and just perfect for what we needed on the day.
I agree, and you got to think about it. He's 20 years of age, I think. You got Reyes is 21 years of age. Casper was the mature one there, playing the pivot, and number 6 is 27, 28 years of age. But staying yourself very straight before we go to the next subject is going on that tactical change. It did mean that at times they were so panicky at the back there, so having to try and play it. They had to go long, and every time they had to go long, Cooper and Caleb Tate just mopped up, didn't they, the headers, which meant we then won the ball back again, didn't we?
Absolutely. I'll come back to that point of Alex's in a minute. We wanted Southampton to go long. We wanted them to. We were trying to make them do it, and it was
especially with Armstrong up front. That was so small, isn't he, as well? Yeah.
It was the 40th minute when Southampton finally didn't play a short goal kick and the keeper lumped it up the pitch. That's what we were trying to get them to do. And as I said earlier, teams are good enough to be able to get out maybe once, twice or whatever. But if you stop them or if you press them high, it just puts that little bit of doubt. So, absolutely. Again, other teams like, Sheffield Wednesday, use them as an example. They didn't set up the same. They wanted to go long to the bigger strikers. So you do have to have a different way of playing. But it shows that maybe Alex Neil does have your plan A, your plan B. Sometimes it isn't a case of just send out the same team and play the same tactics and hope to get the same results. You do have to be a little bit clever. On that point from Alex, I did try to look into this because I've seen so many people going on about minus goal difference and it's literally been everywhere. I couldn't find necessarily anything on a team being third in the league. However, Huddersfield were promoted in the playoffs with a minus goal difference in 2016-17, I believe. And years and years ago, and this is a different level, but Everton made the Champions League under David Moyes with a minus goal difference.
There you go. That's why I call you Stato. See, he's redeemed himself. He's back.
I did exactly the same earlier, Jonesy, and saw both of those. So I was hoping you wouldn't have got both of them.
I also think there was another stat that I saw, but I didn't have time to fact check this. Someone might be able to, but Norwich, I think Norwich have the highest place finish in the top division with a minus goal difference as well. So it is possible. Right. It's not ideal, it being in a negative, but I replied to someone on Twitter: you keep winning games of football, it don't matter what your goal difference is because we're going to keep racking up points. But it is possible to do it, guys. It is possible to do it.
There you go, Alex. Hope that's answered your question. Stato spoken. Good stuff. Ben, we want to sort of talk about the players now and their performances. Don't worry, I don't want to give you Emakhu just yet. We'll warm you up towards Emakhu. But the first player, was that a snort there, Jesper? I thought it was your dog next to you sleeping.
Yeah, no.
You can't blame dog this time, can you?
No, you know.
No.
Like dog, like owner, right?
Yeah, Ben, sorry about that snort. So, Femi Azeez, his goal. I mean, 6 goals of the season, I believe, in 7 starts. He really did look like a threat throughout. I mean, how important is keeping Azeez fit to keeping our promotion dreams alive, in your opinion?
Well, I mean, we've seen how we've struggled without him, right? I just, if he doesn't stay fit, the creative threat and danger that we have just diminishes. Well, so dramatically, it's scary, right? Just on Azeez in general, I just want to just comment on him. The improvement in him as a player, he genuinely now, I mean, I'm saying he's the best winger in the league, but he's got to be in the top 2 or 3 at very least. Like, just me and Jonesy were talking about it, and something that I won't hide behind. I said he was the worst £1 million the club's ever spent.
And that's why we got Ben on panel.
Listen, I think a lot of people did. I wasn't the only one doing it. I'm big enough to say I was completely wrong.
I'm joking, but we were all there. We all thought about the first few games, didn't we? Let's be honest.
But the improvement in him now is just. I can't actually put it in words. That's why I'm struggling. It's just ridiculous how much he has improved. The importance on the team is it's there to see. We've seen when he hasn't been in the side. I mean, I'll chuck this out to you, fellas. What generally, what's he worth now? What would someone pay for it?
I keep telling everyone that will listen, literally in any form of conversation, he's best player in the world. I'll be like, do you know that Femi Azeez is the best player in the world? Priceless, absolutely priceless. And I won't put on record what the comment I made about Femi Azeez at the start of his Millwall career, because I don't want to get cancelled. But I was firmly in the same position as Ben. He's just, I don't know what he's worth. I genuinely, to answer Ben's question, I don't know what he's worth because he's so important to this team.
Would I be out my arse if I said I wouldn't want to see him going for less than 20 million? I mean, with the prices of players going, it's ridiculous. I mean, how important is he? How can you replace him,
Just so, yes, before you jump in, I was just genuinely, man, that's where I'm thinking. It's got to be near 20. That genuinely, that's not me getting carried away. In terms of his
say we're 14, didn't they, Ben?
And I know age is going to be factored into that, and obviously potential. But look, Femi's not old, but he's still got his whole career ahead of him, mate. I think 20 for me. If we sold for less than, I don't think we would get that, because I think if the club got an offer of probably north of 10, they would go with 10 extra money. But for me, for us and the worth he is to us, I think it's 20 mil.
I agree. Sorry, Stat, I just finish off what you're about Femi.
Yeah,
sorry, mate.
I just again, as I said, anyone a listener, you talk about how good he is, and people that you get a lot of people sort of when you go to work or whatever that support like a Premier League team that don't look outside the Championship. We've all been there. I'm sure the listeners have all been there. You have to put up with Man United and Arsenal and all this rubbish, but people that aren't Championship supporters are sort of saying he's scoring every week. It's literally him in the headlines every week, and they're not tap-ins either. He doesn't score bad goals. Okay, the goal at QPR is off of him, a rebound, but still the effort to get there, the touch, everything about it. He scores good goals. He's in the headlines every week. I just think it has to be 20 million. It has to be 20 million. Anyone that says less, and I know that we always lowball it with it's Millwall, and we accept like a packet of crisps for our best players and all that. But we're not that Millwall anymore. We're just not. And I think but again, we're led to believe that if we were around the top 6 come January, that we wouldn't be looking to sell our players. We would be looking to improve the squad and bring in some quality. Well, that says to me that someone can come knocking on the door and they're just going to say thank you very much, but no thanks.
I agree. Just before we come to you, just a quick one answer for Alex MFC. So as we all agree, Crama has to stay at right back now. Interesting. So I'll let Bex explain a bit more in detail her conversation, but she spoke to him today about his position, and he was adamant he's not a right back. When he said in the joke, he went up, he said to her, like, I'm not a right back, I'm a centre back. So I think in his head, he will move back into a centre back. But how do you tell somebody who's a really good centre back they're actually a fucking brilliant right back? And let that train go now. Do you know what I mean? Just focus on your right back position. But we'll talk about Crama in a second. Jesper, back to yourself. Regards to Femi Azeez. What's interesting, Jesper, is we listen to other podcasts and these content makers, whatever, Southampton fans. There's one watching the game on Saturday. He was talking through the game, and when Femi Azeez scored, the first thing he said was, it's only that fucking Femi Azeez again, isn't it? Like, they all know who he is. Like, and even he was like, it's that fucking Femi Azeez again, isn't he? He just scored against us. So he's getting well known now, isn't he, Jesper?
Well, I think he is, because he's scoring, as you say, he scores every week when he plays. So obviously you're going to take notice of the players who scores in the Championship, as well as we look at other teams and who their talisman is. Obviously Femi is that for us at the moment. And as Ben said, his development throughout one season is incredible. I think he had to get to grips with the Championship in the beginning. I think we remember there was a game against Leyton Orient as well. I think that was his first game in the League Cup, and he looked so out of place. But he was new to the club as well. It was had to find his feet at Millwall as well. And I think second half of last season as well, he started to show how good he could be, and he's just carried that form into the new season. And he's added now goals to his repertoire as well. So he's unfortunately, injuries has got, he's been affected by injuries as well, which is, of course, hampering, I wouldn't say his development, but, his continuity a little bit. So that's unfortunate. I hope he can stay fit, and he has to be nurtured, it seems, So he doesn't look like a player at the moment who can go like 90 minutes, 3 games in a row. So we need to be careful. But when he plays, we just look a different team. But having said that, I was happy to see 2 other goal scorers on the score sheet on Saturday. It means a lot that we got other players who can chip in, and when Femi's out, there's others who can score as well.
Yeah, I agree. And just reading John's comment here as well. Again, another Saints podcast said Azeez is a Premier League player. He's that good, But no, I think we all agree. I think he was actually fantastic. He makes a big difference. I think if he plays, we look like a team that's going to win. When he doesn't play, we look an average side, don't we, Stato? So, Stato, coming to you next, mate, with regards to next player I want to discuss is Tristan Crama. Obviously, an immense display, both in defence and attack, and of course, he scored the winner. What did you make of his performance on Saturday?
Well, it's just, again, phenomenal. It's incredible how someone has the mentality, clearly going into games, he doesn't want to play at right back, or he doesn't want to be at right back.
Look at Dan, the awful gambler's comment here. Look, does Crama not understand how good he is at right back? It's true. what a difference. He plays there. Plays 2 games there. It was raving about Crama again, isn't they? Suddenly he's back on Player of the Year, isn't he? You know.
He's just an athlete. He's an absolute athlete. He's you look at as well the where he's come from. So okay, the Exeter loan, that's where possibly we'd seen more of him than perhaps Brentford. But Brentford, Brighton, those kind of clubs, they look for those strong athletic defenders. It's the build. It's what you're looking for. But someone that's comfortable on the ball that can come out with it.
Do you know what's really interesting, Star? Sorry to interrupt you there, but again, something that Ray's told me today. So before he got the Millwall trial, he had a trial up in Middlesbrough and also in Brentford. And one of the things he picked up with Brentford was how hard they work their players in training, in trial. It's just relentless, like running and effort. And even he was shocked at the level on how hard they work their players. So you can see why they're so fit, their players, and hence the reason why Crama has got that kind of grounding, isn't he?
Absolutely. And that's why they signed him, because he clearly bought into that work ethic, that kind of model of wanting to be better. He's clearly seen Brentford as perhaps not the right place to kickstart his career, because he wanted to be playing first team football, wants to get at a higher level. Playing in the Championship is the next step for him. But he's just phenomenal. You just look at him every time there's a 50-50, you think, well, he's going to win it. Or every time he's going forward, you think he's going to get on the end of it. He's going to put the ball across. Okay, it doesn't always lead to something, but you just think he's just going to do what he needs to do every single time. And I thought that the one thing under Neil that I thought we'd struggle with a little bit with the injuries and the problems is the fact that he wants his fullbacks to be attacking and going forward and providing assists. And you got Crama who can do it on the right. You've got Sturge and Doughty on the left-hand side. They look better players because they're playing in systems and they're asked to do jobs that they're good enough to do. I don't want to sort of ever go at Danny McNamara because I think he's excellent. And defensively, I thought he was very, very good when he was asked to play at left back again at Portsmouth. But when he goes forward, you can see that there's a little bit of a limitation there. With Crama, you don't have that. He just looks like he knows what he's doing every time. And the goal, I mean, it was the scenes, the limbs, whatever you want to call it, just absolutely incredible. And no one more deserving, I think, to cap off another good performance.
I completely agree. Completely agree with you. Jesper?
Yeah, can only compliment what Stevens just said there, and about the goal. We entered the 97th minute, and your right back pops up. To have the energy to get into the box and get on the end of things, and not only just hit the ball, but actually get it on target as well, was just shows the fitness level of this guy. And he had Manning pegged back as well. If you notice the whole game, he didn't defend very much. He was going forward, pushing their fullbacks back, and they didn't like that. But that's what he can do because he is that sort of attacking-minded right back. And I can't recall, there was someone in the chat saying Crama will only go to centre back if we sign a right back in January, and I couldn't agree more. If we don't sign a right back in January, he will stay out there. But he was very good, and I mean, it's incredible to have a player who's just as good as a centre back as he is as a right back. I mean, what a luxury problem to have. It's like, all right, you're not going to play there today. We'll just put you out right, and you just play equally as good. So there you go, mate.
That's the thing, though, Jesper. It's like if he carried on playing centre back, I think we'll all be quite pleased with how he's performing next to Coop. But if you're asking who would be player of the season, you wouldn't say that he'd be a runaway leader. But in the 2 games he's gone to right back, he's shown us exactly how good he is as a right back. And suddenly he's like head and shoulders in front of everyone else in that kind of accolade to potentially be, the player of the year. So again, I know a few of the guys mentioned in the comments there, like if you're Crama, surely you must be listening to what everyone's saying, all the noise. So you can actually, that probably is my best position. That's where I'll be most effective. This is where I'm helping the team,
Yeah, exactly. So no, he was very good, and I thought he was quite bright against Sheffield Wednesday as well. Could have had an assist in the first half as well because he goes forward. He keeps bumming forward, and that's what we need if we want to be effective also up front. So I think he'll stay out there if we don't sign a right back in January, which I really, really, really hope that we do.
Cool, excellent. Ben, did you discuss Crama yet? I can't remember if you did or not.
No, I didn't, but I'm actually just going to change it slightly, mate, if that's okay. Yeah. And just more on the points that you've all kind of raised. First of all, the thing with Crama is there's that meme. It's just a 10 out of 10 performance, 10 out of 10 performance that Venom always tweets, and that is just the truest thing I've ever seen. So we don't even need to talk about him. We just expect him to put in a 10 like he does every week. This is what I would say with him, and probably why he wants to stay at centre half. Will he be a Premier League right back? No, he just won't be. That's why he probably wants to go back to being a centre back, because when he thinks about his move, he will be a Premier League centre half, but he's not going to be a Premier League right back. And I don't think that's because he's not. It's not because he's not capable, but that Premier League teams just don't have those sort of right backs. They're wingers that have moved back, aren't they? And they're different types of players in the Premier League. So I'd imagine that's kind of what he's half thinking, that when he does get that move, it'll be at centre half. So just on that, and just someone that we haven't really mentioned this, Jonesy touched upon him, but just a shout out to Danny Mack. We're talking about potentially signing the right back. Listen, I don't think we need to. We've seen Danny Mack in 2 games coming back from a very, very tough, long injury, and I thought he was excellent Saturday. If I was playing on the same wing as Emakhu, I'd want to kill him, because he made 2 or 3 overlapping runs, and Emakhu being Emakhu and just being a complete div, he wants to do the wrong thing all the time rather than rolling the wing back in, who's just busted their balls to get round them. So anyway, that's just my little Emakhu moment. But yeah, I thought Danny was excellent. He was getting forwards. I think he solves that right back position or depth at right back for us, because we're obviously going to have Sturge and Joe Bryan's going to come back in. So if Danny's clearly still retained his ability, I think that we've got a right back.
Yeah, and I think defensively, I think he's one of the best in the club.
We've never questioned his defensive work. Yeah,
I mean, on Saturday, he was up against Tom Fellows, who's a really tricky left-footed inside winger who was brilliant for West Brom. He got a massive move for 10 million, I think it is, to Southampton. And I think he kept him fairly quiet all game. He didn't really get a look in, did he? So he'd done an excellent job on him there. But no, cheers for that, Ben. So, Jesper, coming to yourself next. Next person I want to discuss is Casper de Norre. A lot of people were saying he potentially could have been man of the match against Southampton. Very underrated performance. I know the likes of Azeez and Crama got the limelight for their goals and whatever, but I think Casper played a very, very important role. He played that number 6 role by himself, didn't he, in the middle? And I think just looking at the stats from the game, he was at the highest in ball recoveries. His passing from flank to flank, switching play, driving attacks, starting attacks. I think even for the 3rd goal, it was his ball that played through to Langstaff, and then Langstaff cut in past the Ballo, and then Ballo to Crama. But everything kind of started from Casper at the back, didn't he, on Saturday, Phil?
Casper was extremely good on Saturday. I think I mentioned last week or the week before that he's one of the first players on the team sheet. There's no doubt about that. And he's also, in my opinion, he's captain material. On Saturday, he ran the show in midfield. He was the one dictating when to press and when not to, when to drop, when to sit in, when to do. He did what George Saville used to do when he played midfield. And he was, as you said, he could have been man of the match. I don't even know what to say. I mean, there's so many superlatives you can use for the guy because he's so important for us. But he did an extremely good job. And also, I think he made Dan Kelly and RBW look pretty decent because of the way he ran things in midfield. So, only positives for Casper, I think. But maybe that's, not only Casper, but we have not sort of hit form the last 3 or 4 games where Casper as well hasn't been that decent. But he hasn't been poor. But Saturday he showed what he's all about and how important he is to the team. So, I thought he was really, really good and also got an assist for Caleb's goal, of course.
Yeah, no, you're right. Absolutely. Cheers for that, Jesper. And Ben, coming to yourself next regarding Casper.
Yeah, I thought he was excellent, mate. And again, just following on from what Jesper said, I thought he has been a little bit quiet in the last few games. So it was good to see, I wouldn't say a return in form, but the levels that we expect to see from Casper, I thought he was excellent. You always expect Southampton to be possession hungry and have more possession than us. And certainly in midfield, there'd be a lot of running to do. But he was top drawer, and Pete Jeff saying there could have been MOM quite easily. So, totally agree, man. I thought he was brilliant. One thing I had not questioned with Casper recently was, again, decision-making at times. But again, I watched him and he didn't make a wrong decision Saturday. I thought he was excellent. He was a Rolls Royce.
I think he really marshalled the young players ahead of him, Stato, didn't he? You think about the likes of, again, we mentioned Dan Kelly, 20 years old, Race Bangura is 21, and having Casper behind them, marshalling them, coaching them, mentoring, helping them, it helped their game, didn't it? And as Ben said, he was constantly talking and organising and telling what to do. I think he just played a big part in that role. And again, very underrated because, he wasn't on the score sheet. Yes, he got an assist. But I think it's worth noting that he played a vital role in that win, didn't he, on Saturday?
I actually tweeted after the game, and I've got it on the screen about De Norre. Also, he might go unnoticed with everything that's happened in the game, but Casper De Norre was absolutely brilliant all game. Superb midfield performance alongside Kelly. And it's not that when I said that, and some people did comment and reply back and saying, how would you mean unnoticed? What do you mean? Like, he was absolutely superb. And it wasn't a case that people wouldn't have seen how good he was. It's just that so much happened in the game. You might think, oh, he got an assist, but it's when you drill down to, as you say, how many times he wins the ball back, how many times he's the person that starts the attack by playing the ball out to your wing back or your wingers. It's the little things that people, we all watch every game we go, the chat are the same. You see how good he is, but from the outside, people look at it and go, oh, he's a midfielder. He doesn't score that many goals or he doesn't get that many assists, but it's everything else that goes into a performance that makes him as good as he is. And I always say, if Casper De Norre plays well, Mill will play well. If Casper De Norre doesn't play well, we don't play well as a team. And I've stood by that. He at QPR, I thought he come on and changed the momentum of the game. It just completely looked a different side when he was on the pitch, obviously due to unfortunate circumstances with an injury. But he's just he's our best player. He's our most important player in the sense of, we need him. Azeez is probably technically at the moment our best player, but in terms of what we need to be successful, we need a strong Casper De Norre. And at the moment, that's what we've got. I also just what Ben said, actually, I agree. I thought he'd been poor. Poor is probably the wrong word. There was a noticeable drop in level of performance.
No, I think Paul was fair, Jonesy. I said Birmingham, mate, was his worst performance I've probably seen in a Mill.
Right, but was everyone poor that day? I can't
totally agree. Yeah, but no one played well that night. But it was normally, even when we are bad, he's not bad. But Jonesy, I think he has been, for his levels. I think he's been poor in recent weeks.
And again though, it's. Whilst he's not the glamour player that gets, as I say, the goals and the assists. When he doesn't play to the standard that we know he can, people notice it. And that's when you know he's a good player, because it's not what he does in terms of getting numbers, in terms of being at the top of the charts of anything. It's everything else. And that's the biggest compliment you can give. He is a good player in this team at this level because of the sort of what is it? The unselfish work, the things that people don't want to do, and he does it to allow people like Azeez to be further up the pitch. He drops in when Crama pushes up the field. So when we lose the ball, Casper's there to mop up. It's those things that we see that other people might not. But when like he played on Saturday, phenomenal, was everywhere. Absolutely everywhere.
And also when you look at his reaction as well at full time, what it meant to him, the passion, the way he's scream at the camera, and we let a lot of players go in the last summer who were typically Millwall type players, and we do wonder, where's our USP, where's that kind of heartbeat in our team? And I think Casper's one of very few players left, alongside Cooper and Lenny, perhaps, who get it. They understand what it means to play for Mill. They've got that Millness inside them. And I think he's somebody who's probably had to kind of almost learn that kind of Mill side of him. And I think he's really taken over the Saville mantle now, and actually being the driving force and that leader on the pitch, and the guy who's going to kind of motivate and kind of pull the strings a little bit and bring everyone together. Was that fair to say, Jesper?
Yeah, but I also just wanted to say we shouldn't forget that Casper has been paired with quite a few players in midfield now because of all the injuries we had. So it's not like he's had a partnership with just one specific player. He's had to deal with a lot of new players coming in. It takes time as well to get to know your partner you play next to as well. And I think that's what makes his performances even better, because it almost seems like it doesn't matter who he plays with, whether it's Masusako, Luongo, Billy. Kondo or Kelly in this case, or RBW. He just gets on with it. And as Steven said, you barely you only notice this when he plays bad, but his standards are so high. So I think that's why you have to give him full credit for how he's performed. And yes, he's had a slight drop in form, but maybe that's to expected if you have a new partner every game or every second game. So yeah, I think he's done extremely well so far this season.
Nice one. Excellent. Cheers for that, Jesper. So now we're starting with Ben. Next round. I've got a player. We're going to kick things off, Ben. Emakhu. Are we yet to see that kind of improvement, Ben, in Emakhu's game? I mean, yeah, is he a threat? We've seen him being very, very effective in set pieces. But are we seeing enough end product from him in open play and during games, in your opinion?
Do I need to answer that? Do I need to talk about it? No, genuinely, like me and my old man had a full-on hour conversation about this. You fucking set me off now, haven't you? So what I will say, you mentioned it first, the improvement from him. Have we seen improvement from him? The answer to that is no.
Really? Okay.
Well, what have we seen? So I put it in the group the other day. Our most hated player in recent seasons, in George Honeyman, got 5 goals and 4 assists in his last season for the club. I'm telling you now, Emakhu will never get those numbers for us. And apparently he's our main attacking outlet, apart from Femi Azeez.
Make a good point, yeah.
Like,
what's he got? One goal in 63 appearances, isn't he? I think from
he's got 1 assist he's got 1 assist this season. And once again, I will say everyone was telling me how good he was Saturday, and he's got 1 assist all season.
I think he's got 5 or 6 goal contributions in his entire Millwall career. That's where we're at. Ballow's got 4 assists, 1 goal this season. I mean,
already
we talk about output here. Sorry, I don't want to nick Ben's spotlight here, but it's just I can understand people's perspective from Emakhu's point of view in terms of work rate and how he wins corners and free kicks, but that's about it. But you want output from your players, and I would say, though, first half against Southampton, he did put in a few decent crosses that we didn't get on the end of. So there were potential for some assists there, but it's still, we need to see more. We need to see more numbers, assists, goal contributions, goals. That's why you're in the team. That's why Azeez plays there. That's why Ballo plays there. That's why you got Ivanovic up front. Okay, he hasn't hit form as he did last season, but that's what you need. That's if you ask me, but I would still say, and that's what frustrates me, because I will go the other way and say, yes, he has improved, but the numbers doesn't show for it. So there's the eye test, but there's also what you see in terms of numbers, and there's nothing.
What does he give us, Stat? Give us something positive from Emakhu. I mean, surely he's been picked on merit. He's not been picked for any other reason other than the fact that Alex
coming back to me because I'm.
We are. Don't worry. We'll give you the last hurrah at the end. Don't worry.
I'm actually probably gonna absolutely trigger the life out of Ben here, and I'm not doing it on purpose.
Don't say something stupid, then, mate. Just don't say something stupid.
I actually think on Saturday he was quite unlucky that our forward was Ivanovic. I'm not saying Ivanovic had a bad game, but there was a couple of times where the ball into the box was actually a better ball than what we've been seeing. Rather than drill it out for a throw in the other side, there was a couple of times, low and hard in the box where it was cut out by perhaps defenders going for a corner. Now, I get that that's not numbers. I get that that's not end product, but it just gave me a glimmer of hope that someone has got their arm around him and said, stop just trying to smash the ball as hard as you can, because that doesn't help anyone. It really, really doesn't. Now, I accept, and I have been highly critical of Emakhu, and he's been at Portsmouth. I was absolutely, cursing him down the, when he come on, okay, tough conditions, but constantly offside, making bad decisions, or overhitting the ball. But I think on Saturday he was a little bit unlucky in the first half, especially that if we'd have had a fully firing Ivanovic or someone that was confident in front of goal, I think the balls into the box might have led to something. But like the chap said below, Jesper, and obviously the Emakhu fan club chairman, that he's just the numbers don't lie. the numbers don't lie, and when you compare to Ballo, who's new to the club, he's been playing in Austria. Okay, he's not new to English football because he was on Chelsea's books, but he's got the assists and goals. And whilst sometimes, and I'll be honest with you, I don't think Ballo I don't think he's been as good as what we'd have hoped him to be consistently. There's been good games and there's been bad games, but ultimately the numbers don't lie. And if you're racking up goals and assists, that's all that matters, because that's what wins your game of football. Running like Usain Bolt don't win you a game of football. Having end product does, and Emakhu needs to find that. Otherwise, when we do have a fully fit squad, I don't think he's going to be getting as much game time. I think at the moment our hands are kind of tied, and Alex Neil's hoping to see something from him, and it's just not happening.
Ben,
But he wasn't. Sorry, Joe. And again,
right.
sorry, he wasn't as bad on Saturday as what he has been, but it's not difficult to not be as bad as he has been, and that's the problem.
That's a good point. Ben, I'm going to give you the last word on this. Before I do that, a couple of messages here. So B-Line says, give us a positive. Well, he hasn't been that injured. That's a start. That's a positive. Alex MFC said that some of the balls he puts in, players should get at the end of. Is that a fair comment there, Ben? I mean, as Stato said, his final ball is improving. Yes, he's not quite getting the assist, but you have to admit the last couple of games, the balls he is putting in from that left-hand side, there should be players at the end of it, Ivanovic or whoever's making that run into the box, should make more of those chances. There've been some really good balls played in, dangerous balls in that 6-yard box. So he's doing the right thing. He's trying to pick out players, but not quite getting there, are they? So
Coventry, the same, mate. Coventry first half, same thing. You put a lot of dangerous balls in the box. So listen, I don't disagree that. I don't. He hasn't improved because the numbers aren't there. Yes, we said on the eye test. Yeah, okay, he's getting him. He gets, for someone who gets in so many good positions, has got the dribbling ability and the ability to beat a man with ease like he has. He cannot have the numbers that he's got. It's just not good enough. And I'm saying that there is an underhanded compliment in there, because his dribbling and his ability to beat a man is excellent. But when you've got the end product and ultimately decision making that he has, it's never going to work, is it?
Would you not agree with Jeff Cook's comment here? So he's saying to you, Ben, and Mark definitely has improved. What he gives us is his ability to put the fullbacks on the back foot. He was terrorising that fullback on Saturday. Would you say
again?
But
I've never disputed his ability, like I just said, to beat a man. But there's no good him beating a man. I always use the golf analogy. There's no good me hitting a 400-yard drive and then thinning my wedge 600 yards through the back of the green. There's no point.
You're talking Chinese to me just there. I don't know what the hell that meant.
Okay, let me talk it in football terms. There's no good me beating my fullback every time and then punting it in the stands like he does.
Right, I get you.
There's no like with his ability again to beat a man and his speed, his directness, all that sort of thing. He cannot put the numbers up that he is producing.
Is this more in line what you're saying here, Ben? So George is saying he terrorised the fullbacks last 2 games, but his final product isn't great.
Exactly still. That. It's no good beating a man continually and then not delivering or doing the wrong thing, making the wrong decision. And I don't disagree with that. We spoke about it in our group chat. It's been
well. Stato mentioned as well, didn't you, Stato? That you
should have gone out on loan.
Yeah,
he come from the League of Ireland. I no disrespect. I've never watched a game of football from the League of Ireland, so I can't tell you what the standards are. I'm sure someone out there has and will tell me that they've got the next Messi or George Best or whatever. But the step up, it's not like he come to us when we was in League One, where you have that little bit of where that kind of pace is going to create a lot more chances because defenders are just not they're not going to know what to do and deal with.
And you got more chances in the game, aren't you? You're up against not so good defenders, I guess. Yeah,
absolutely.
Joe, before you finish that, I just want to. This is going to end the argument, and this will just end all the argument with it. Would you rather a Ballo type player who will get you 10 goals and or assists from goal contributions a season, or Emakhu who looks great but gets 1 goal or 1 assist all season? Because that is a simple answer.
It's obviously Ballo, and I said it earlier.
End of it. End the conversation.
But what I would say, and it's the biggest if, and I don't think it's going to happen, and I don't see it happening, but if Emakhu does find a way to add that end product, I'm not saying he's going to, Ben.
What
I'm
a
not,
player he's
well,
going to be, isn't he?
But
What
if
a
he
player.
does, if he does,
If
but-
I lose 5 stone, I might get back in the Millwall team. It's not going to happen.
but not your
Right.
age. But but I don't see it happening, and that's the frustration. I think we all spoke how positively of Femi Azeez. Now Femi Azeez looked absolutely woeful. Jesper commented on the Leyton Orient game. I was there that night, and it was absolutely dreadful. He was trying to do flicks and tricks, just embarrassing performance. But he's gone away and clearly added to his game the goal threat, the main man aura, if you will. Emakhu doesn't give that off whatsoever. Someone said, look at Azeez, watch what he does, look at that end product. You've got someone banging form that you're watching in training day after day. Just work with him, but it just doesn't seem that seems to be happening. And it shows that Azeez is undroppable. As soon as he's fit, everyone's buzzing. Everyone wants him in the team. Emakhu starts, and you hear the grumbles thinking, what are we going to get today? The stewards are in danger in the crowd because he's just going to lamp it. Do you know what I mean? That's the sort of comments that you get, and it's harsh, but unfortunately, it's true.
People will also think I'm being very harsh on Emakhu. Sorry, James. I'm not. I want him to improve. But the thing that frustrates me the most is the blind faith that some people seem to put in him that he's going to find this improvement. And it's not like he hasn't been playing for us now for 3-4 seasons, because he has. He's having his chance. He's playing a lot of games. It's not like he's a bit part player and having 20 minutes at the end. And he's played a lot of football for us now, and we're still not seeing that improvement.
Yeah. So your answer is no, is it?
Listen, again, mate, I'm not ever disputing he works really hard. That side of the game has really improved, and he gets in great positions. But do I have faith on him doing the right thing when he gets in those positions? Absolutely not. And if he does make the right decision, do I have faith in him being able to deliver on that final ball? No.
Just one more thing, and I think, Joe, you'll get to the comment from John, and it's really, really, this is the big thing. Over 60 career games, and he doesn't understand his role. Neil has to coach him in game.
Great comment.
It is.
Comment of the night, that one is.
It is, because how often do you? Femi Azeez might get one instruction off of Alex Neil. But Emakhu gets not hammered. That's probably the wrong term, but he gets the constant barrage of instruction and where you watch him.
Where I sit above Alex Neil in the Kitchener stand, and I'm quite close to him, and you do hear him all day, every game going, I do more. He's just constantly telling what to do, what to prove.
Where's he from, Joe?
Welsh, isn't he? Welsh. But he's just constantly like managing his game. And so, and also, it's interesting. You see a lot of players telling what to do constantly as well. A lot of players pointing to where he should be all the time. You know, it's almost like even when we set up for the press, like from a goal kick, like players were telling where he should be, or Alex Neil telling where to move further up high the pitch and all that. But I mean, he has got fantastic physical attributes. You know, his pace, he's electrifying at times, and he's again, you're going to be scared.
Yeah, and he has. I mean, where he has improved himself is defensively. He has improved defensively.
He tackles,
but again,
he wins the ball.
He's a winger and he's a striker, and he's there to score goals and make assists. You know, and that's the bottom line when you play up there. It's not just about how you get the pressing right all the time. For me, I know it's not just a piece of paper, but it is output in the end when you look at strike. That's how you measure your strikers and your forwards and your wingers. Yeah. That's how do you contribute in terms of us scoring goals. End of. That's And we should say the same thing about Neckley as well. But even he has got 3 or 4 goals and a couple of assists. And he hasn't been good, but at least he's showing he can hit the target. He can score goals. When he's sort of in form.
Should we move on from I don't know, and put Ben out his misery?
I don't know, Ben.
No, let's stay on it all night. I've got plenty more of that stuff.
You got save some more for next week. Stato, I'm going to start with you this time. Quick word for Dan Kelly and Ray Bangura-Williams. Both of them played in that number 8 role. So we talked about Casper playing the 6. Those two are playing ahead of him in the 8. Again, I mentioned earlier, Dan Kelly, 20 years of age. Ray Bangura-Williams, 21 years of age. Their contribution to that midfield was quite dynamic. It's a very mature performance, I felt, from two very, very young players who were asked not just to be a threat offensively, but more importantly, do a very good defensive job. Now, I talked to Race today at lunch, and he was saying the instructions that he took in that game and what he had to do defensively, off the ball, the marking, when to press, blah, blah, blah. And a lot of players were expecting Race Bangura Williams to sort of, start the game right. He's going to score a hat trick. He's going to score a hat trick. He's going to create 2 goals and be man of the match, because we want him to start. And, there you go. He's going to get, pull a rabbit out of the hat. That's not, that wasn't asked of him. He was asked to do so many things in that game off the ball, which almost kind of prevented him from being as creative as he would like to do. But then what do you expect? We're playing against a top team in Southampton. But the point I'm making is, for 2 young players, what do you give them as their kind of your kind of impression of how they perform, both of them on that pitch together on Saturday?
I think, and without, I don't want this to come across as a bit harsh, but I think Bangura Williams' game suffered by being asked to play a role that perhaps he didn't not want to do, but what he's perhaps, going out. He wants to play football. He wants to be on the ball. You can see he wants the ball. He's always looking for it, but the game kind of not passed him by, but he was asked to do things that don't show off how good Bangura Williams is. I think that's
a good point.
And that's it. It's sort of, it's unfortunate because people will say he's not taking his chance. I actually said I thought he was a bit quiet, but
so I'm reading that comment there. Is that
I'm assuming that's David Beckham.
I think he means old Bexley, yeah.
But I thought in regards to the press and the defensive work, I thought Bangura Williams was excellent, and he did the job that his manager asked him to do. And if, there's been a lot of speculation about Bangura Williams, obviously, some of it that we perhaps think is a little bit unfair or a little bit twisting the truth, should we say. But if there was anything in perhaps his work rate or his off the ball is not quite what Alex Neil wants, well, he showed Alex Neil on Saturday that he's willing to do that side of things to get game time. He's willing to carry out the instruction. Not his best game, but he did what he was asked. And sometimes managers look at that and go, that's the sort of player that I want in my team, someone that's going to do what I asked them to. Dan Kelly, I actually thought, as I said, I thought he started the game quite poorly. I thought first 10, 15 minutes, he looked a little bit off the pace, a little bit rabbit in the headlights, and the game was kind of passing him by. But something clicked and he was superb. He was making those runs into the box. I think there was a chance in the first half where Azeez went for goal. If he'd have played the ball just in behind, Kelly was in the box, in on goal. I didn't expect him to be that forward runner, the late runs into the box, but he was just he was very, very good. Again, touching on what Jesper said, it's another centre mid partnership for Kasper to work with, and we're down to bare bones, so we're hopeful that perhaps Kelly can stay fit and hungry, but no, the two of them, they both carried out their jobs as asked by the manager. Kelly got involved a little bit more for me, and I think it showed a lot of positive comments out of his performance. But again, sometimes if the manager asks you to do something, a bit like Tristan Crama, don't want to play it right back, but if your manager asks you to do it, you do it to the best of your ability. And those 2 young lads certainly did that.
Yeah, perfect. Nice. And cheers to that, so appreciate it. Just coming to yourself, just want to talk about the young lads' performance. I said, Dan Kelly, 20 years of age, Race Bangura, 21, both playing in those 8 roles where they do a lot of work, a lot of pressing, a lot of, box to box sort of running, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. But I want to go to the comment which Lion in Waiting just posted. No player looks good in the 10 for us, Negley, Kundal, RBW, and Smallbone. That's exactly what I thought of after the game as well, because Batesy on Lions TV also said, and I think even Brian Horn said, that RBW had been a bit quiet. But I was starting to think, the way we set up, the way we play.
He wasn't playing the 10 though, was he? RBW.
No, but centrally. I mean, the way we set up is not to weave our way through centrally. We don't play through the middle. If you look at it, we either get it to the fullbacks, who then try and go up the line to either Emakhu or Azeez, and then we try to create something, or we get it into whoever plays in central, Billy, Casper, and then they spread it out to the wingers. We never seem to use or utilize
Through
the
the
number
middle.
10, the way other teams would do it. We always seem to go down the flanks, and then we try to get crosses in, we get corners, we build pressure. That's how we play. But as someone said, it doesn't matter who we put in there. They seem quite invisible because they're not really part of the game as such, because we don't use them the same way that other teams might. And that could be because the middle might be crammed, or they might be closed down already. But I think the way we set up, we don't maximize our 10 the way that other teams might be able to do. That's just what I'm thinking. So and it's not to make excuses for anyone who's played in there, because there's been poor performances where certain players has been more invisible than others. But it's just to say we don't use our 10 as a playmaker like other teams. I watched Watford yesterday. Lusa, for instance, their guy in midfield, on the ball constantly. They look for him all the time, and for him to spread it out and then dictate, and then they move forward. And we don't do it the same way.
Yeah. But again, I think I mentioned it in a previous show. I don't think Alex Neil looks at a 10 as we look at it. We look at a 10 as being an attacking player. It's got to create chances, and the kind of the Michael Laudrup, Brian Laudrup of the team. It's going to sort of like make things happen. You see what I've done there, Jesper. But I think he sees a 10 as somebody who's going to be on like Bannon, for example. Bannon's going to play very, very deep. He's very, very good on the ball. So what he done is he wants to play a 10 or an 8 that's going to stick on Bannon, not give him space, not give him time, and do that defensive duty. Also, when to press. When you're playing in a 10, yes, there's a job you've got to do off the ball. And I think Alex Neil wants a player like a Kundal, or it might be, that can do that defensive side to the job more so than the attacking side of it. And as you say, a lot of it is I think you said a lot of attacking is down the flanks as opposed through the middle. So it's very difficult.
But just to finish it off on Reece there, I think I think we discussed that the reason why he might not be playing was because of his lack of defensive capabilities. But I thought he did a really, really good job of closing down. He was everywhere on the pitch with Kelly and Casper as well. I think they did a phenomenal job of nullifying Southampton attack. So if that had been the reason before, that certainly can't be the reason he's not picked next time.
Yeah, nice one. Cheers, Chester. Did you know that, Stato? We actually had a higher XG in the first half than we did in the second half. Did you? There you go.
Our first half of football, if you watch it back, we played really, really well. We looked a real good team. And I think lots of fans of the so-called bigger clubs, you get Millwall away and the reputation and this, that, and the other. Southampton fans, a friend of mine is a Southampton fan, and he was genuinely surprised at how good we actually were for long spells of the game. He knew obviously we were in the playoffs, so must have been doing something right, but they didn't expect it to be quite how we played. And I think that's the thing, isn't it? You look at the games and people think, oh, it's Millwall, it's this, that, and the other, the goal difference, they're scraping their way through. We're not. We just don't have an actual striker that's scoring lots of goals. If someone said earlier, if Ivanovic got his head in the game, who knows where we'd be? We're third in the league, and our big main striker has got 3 goals.
Who was immense for us last season, towards the last season. You're right, exactly. Yeah. We will touch on him. Next. Ben, before we come to you, Ben, just this comment here from George FC. And it's the first time since the 13th of August 2022 that Mill have come back from behind to win at home. When we were 2-0 down against Coventry, we come back to win 3-2. I mean, it's an incredible sort of stat that is. It's been that long, over 3 years now, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, mate. I think recently we've kind of all expected us to just crumble, right? That's how it's been. We've gone 1-0 down, heads have dropped, and it's then just been how many rather than are we going to get back in this game. But great character from the lads, and as I say, it's always nice to overwrite.
In a weird mindset though, Ben, isn't it? Because you could also say on the flip side of that, when we go a goal ahead, suddenly our tails are raised, and we're like, yeah, we're going to go on and win this game. I think we have one of the best stats in the league for scoring first and seeing the game out to go and win it. But it's just weird how psychologically it has a detrimental effect on us as soon as we go a goal down. It's like they almost feel like we're going to lose this game now,
Yeah, and hopefully now, mate, now we've overcome that, we might see a bit more steeliness in the players, if you like, a bit more balls when
Yeah.
we go 1-0 down. And we've got that ability now, and I keep saying it, against a very good Southampton side, to draw upon that and say, look, we went 1-0 down there, and we're always in a game now. Because I said, in recent times, it's been, we've gone 1-0 down. It's then just been, how many is this going to be, rather than anything else. So yeah, always nice to overcome stats like that, mate.
Yeah, very, very much so. Thank you, Biggie. Hope you're well, mate. Only 38 likes. Come on, guys. So remember to hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't got for your notifications. So, guys, if you're watching now, please make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. It really does help with the algorithms. As you know, everything we make for this channel goes to Cancer Research UK. So you could do your bit just by liking and also give us a comment as well at the end. If you give us a comment at the end, it just helps and brings more traffic to the show, of course, you know. So just last words from you, Ben, in regards to Race, Bangor Williams and Dan Kelly. What do you make of their performance for two young guys?
Yeah, I don't think too much more really to add on them, mate, from what the fellas have said. But listen, I'm not going to speak on my admiration for Race. I love him. I thought he did a lot of stuff that I think Alex Neil would have been pleased about, like what Jonesy said. I think at times it's not all about what you're doing on the ball. We know his abilities on the ball. It's been well publicised and well spoken about what he needs to improve on, or apparently needs to improve on. So I'm sure Alex Neil was very pleased in his performance, given, I think someone said earlier, he only had 14 touches. So
good point,
that's not his type of game, right? He wants to be on the ball, affecting it, making things happen. So yeah, I'm sure Alex Neil was very pleased with what he did. And do you know what, with Dan Kelly, it's nice that, again, his career with this has been stop-start due to injuries. It's nice that people were sort of saying to him, well, why did we pay that money last year and we didn't play him? But it's nice now that he's been given maybe a little bit of time. We don't know, again, what had been happening behind the scenes. Was he fully fit? Whatever it was. But now I really think and hope that, given the fact we've got so many injuries, it might be a sort of RBW situation from last season, that we're forced to play him more and we're actually going to see what he can really do. Yeah. There's no doubt there's a player in there, but maybe now we're forced to playing him more. He's clearly a talent. So yeah, look, it's great that we've got two young players with immense amount of potential, mate. And yeah, they did really well again against a very good Southampton side, which I've said a few times.
And an excellent point you made there, Ben. And again, we're asking him to do something we haven't seen a lot of him do in the past. Yeah, that defensive side. So I mean, I know last season there's times I think he played on the right side or the left side, and he was tracking back quite a lot and kept going up and down. But to play that central role and do the defensive side of it, you're absolutely spot on. It's like we're asking him to do, and I think he's kind of coming through it. So he can add that side to his game, can't he? As much as he can on the offensive side. Good stuff. Also, Stato. George taking over your job here. Look, George Dream FC, 18,732 attendance at the Den on Saturday. Mill are having the highest average attendance since the 1950s. Did you know that, Stato?
I did know that. I did know that, but that's I have to give my dad credit. I have to give my dad credit for that, because he's really with stuff like that. Yeah,
Stato Senior.
Yeah, no, listen, I'm all for people, as long as George isn't using ChatGPT, because all of mine are organic. I don't chuck it into AI. I'm just putting that out there.
We're having a Stato off here at the moment, are we?
If he may not, I may be doing George a disservice. But just on that, and I know we joke about it and stats aren't for everybody. I understand that, but everything that's happening this season. I've said it before. We won at Norwich. We won a game after the international break. That was one for Jesper that he asked about. Everything that's just every stat that's coming up that people are coming up with. It's in a positive light. It's always things that are going in the right direction. It's not that we haven't won for 10 games or we've won our worst, lowest. Do you know what I mean? It's all good stuff. So the club are clearly working on everything across the board and long way.
And may I add that? So last time we were in the championship playoff, we also got hammered 4-0 at St Andrews. So we're doing all the right things in terms of getting there again now. So it's really good work so far.
Yeah, absolutely. And you just have to people just have to realize as well that I think that and Ben touched on it earlier, we're third in the league and there's been a little bit of negativity this season. look, just look at.
And it's all Ben, isn't it? It's all Ben slacking off on Emakhu and
just go and have a look at. If you've got 5 minutes, just have a look at some bits in the championship about form, about winning runs, about all kinds of. Just have a look at it. It's quite easy to, if you've got time to have a look into it, you can really get lost in it. But just have a look at it and just see how well we're doing across the board on a number of things. And we're maybe a little bit harsh on the players sometimes because we expect too much.
I agree. Billy Smith had just said, I'll read his comment. I said, it's so good seeing Jensen back today. So him and his daughter went to see Wigan for the under-21s today. Beaumont and Howler were class. And Frankie Baker took his goal so well. Frankie Baker's been scoring a lot this season. Him and AJ Matthews. AJ Matthews was training today at the Den, so I imagine he's going to be involved in the Bristol City game on Saturday. So good comment there. Guys, Mihailo Ivanovic, starting with, I think it's yourself, Jesper, on this one. Another 90 minutes completed. I mean, again, we're forgetting this. He's doing 90 minutes most weeks, isn't he? He absolutely ran his socks off. I mean, are we starting to see that a little bit of progression? And I felt he was kind of holding the ball up a little bit better and winning his duels a bit more on Saturday. Are we seeing that that side of him? Are you seeing that improvement in him, Jesper?
Yeah, I guess we are. Yeah, I mean, he's still a young player, but obviously, he's played a full season now and a bit more. I think he did well, considering, again, up against the back three, a really, really good back three. I think he battled well. I think he ran the channels second half really well, won some good balls. Unfortunately, no goals. But yeah, I think he has improved as a lone striker since the start of the season, I have to say. But it's quite an unforgiving job for him at the moment, isn't it? Because we really don't have anyone to replace him up front. We got Langstaff, but that's not his sort of game. So he's been asked a lot at the moment to play full 90 minutes, Saturday, Wednesday, Saturday. But I think he did well. I think he deserves a lot of plaudits for his performance on Saturday. And there were some improvement, but again, there were also some. We spoke about Emakhu as well, and Ivanovic not being on the end of things. So still room for some improvement, but I think overall he had a fairly decent game against a really, really good defense.
Nice one. Cheers, Vesper. Ben?
Yeah, I thought he did well, mate. We're starting to see things in his game now where if he's not scoring every week, mate, we spoke about this quite a lot early on in the season, that if he's not scoring every week, you want to see him doing the not so sexy stuff, not scoring. You want him to be working hard. You want him to be putting himself about. You want him to get into the positions, because there was times where he just didn't look interested, did he? He wasn't even getting in the right areas. He's now getting into the right areas. The keeper made a great save off that little flick that he did in the first half. How that hasn't found the net, excuse me, I'll never know. But yeah, listen, I think he's improving, mate. I think, again, we've spoken about it quite a bit, that we want to see, not him be dirty, but aggressive. We want to see it. And we're starting to see that a bit more from him. You touched upon it, mate. He's playing a lot of football. I think he's playing a very, very hard role up there on his own. I have no doubt that he's better suited to playing with a Coburn or just another striker. So, listen, again, I've been critical of him this year, but I think we are starting to see signs that he's maybe getting back to the player we know we have and how he was last year.
Let's hope so. Let's hope so. Cheers for that, Ben. And coming to yourself, Slatter, before you speak, sorry, B Lion, excellent point. There's 131 people viewing on YouTube at the moment and only 42 likes. Yes, I'm talking to you. You who hasn't liked this, who hasn't liked it yet. You know who you are. Go back out, like the show, and then come back in again. Come on, do it now before you forget. I know you say, I'll do it late. No, you won't. You'll forget. Do it now. Stato, come to yourself.
I will say, I did just refresh, and it is up to 64 now. So
there you go.
It is up to 64. So we are getting there. They are listening to you, Joe. I said it earlier with Ivanovic that I think there's a couple of times where his positional play is a little bit poor still. I think he doesn't quite read the balls into the box as well as what you might think he will or what he should. Okay, he's young and he's still learning.
So is he the reason why Ben is slating Emakhu each week? It's not Emakhu's fault. It's actually Ivanovic's fault.
No, I think not quite, but I do think that if you had the Ivanovic of the back end of last season with certain crosses that come in that flash across the box, I think he scores them. This year, for whatever reason, it's not happening. So, but his work rate is phenomenal. He chases everything. Lost calls after lost calls, it's constant. There was one time in the second half, I think he probably should have gone in on the goalie. I think he probably should have thrown himself at it because he was close to blocking like the long kick up the pitch. But I don't think you can fault his effort. I think for whatever reason his head might be in the right place after whatever's happened over the summer. Obviously, just needs to add a few more goals. But if you do have the likes of Azeez and Crama in the team, Doherty is another one. A lot of people have been talking about Alfie Doherty and how good he's been on the ball. If you get those sort of players in the game, Ivanovic will start to look a better player because he will get chances, and I'd back him to score. To start scoring goals. It's all end product. We talk about Emakhu, but it's Millwall as a whole. The end product has to improve, and that starts with the creativity, and then it ends with the guy in the middle that needs to be in the right space to finish it off. And I think Ivanovic is getting there.
Brilliant. Cheers for that, Stato. Thanks, guys, for your comments there on Ivanovic. The last thing I want to talk about before we talk about Saturday's game, Ben, is Alex Neil's celebration after Callum Taylor's 30-yard rocket. Now, it's kind of uncharacteristic of him to see that kind of passion and run into the corner flag and celebrate. He said it himself, he doesn't make a habit of doing it. He even got himself a yellow card. But it does show his hunger and that belief and that emotion. What does that say about, I guess, the team morale and Alex Neil's role as manager and as head coach?
And listen, I have no doubt there was probably a little bit of, I wouldn't say frustration in it, but maybe a little bit of a huge amount of relief because he's been unfairly criticised by all of us, right, over the last few games. And we talk about this little bit of, we haven't been buzzing, right? We're third in the league. I know we weren't before the game, but we're doing well, and there isn't really a buzz about us. We've been a bit flat, haven't we? So I've no doubt there was a lot of relief in it, a lot of, I don't want to say like fuck you to everyone, but there's a lot of passion and clearly and how much he believes in this team and what he's doing at the club. So you're listening. It was great to see for someone who's so level-headed. He is the epitome of don't get too high when you win, don't get too low when you lose, isn't he? So yeah, to see how much it means to him, I certainly wouldn't want him to ever be like a Nathan Jones, but it's nice to see your manager do that every now and then, especially from someone, like I said, who's so sort of placid.
Probably means more.
And I say that in a nice way.
You made a good point there regarding Nathan Jones. It probably means more when you see Alex Neil doing something like that, which is so uncharacteristic.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely, mate. And as I say, I'm sure there was a lot of, a little bit of maybe a relief from saying to everyone, look, we're in a really good position here. Let's be a bit more upbeat about it. So, loved it. And loved the fact that he defended it in terms of getting booked. And, it was just great to see. It was great to see.
Love that. Cheers, Ben. I'll come to you next, Stato. Obviously, love to see. He spoke again in the exec lounge today at the player sponsorship, and one of fans asked him about that moment, and he sort of laughed and joked about it. And he said the same thing, it's not something that I've often done. He said, but at that time, so it's just the way I felt. And he mentioned about, how he had to control himself the second time round with Crama, because obviously he was on a yellow card there, wasn't he? So how do you run and celebrate for the winner? He would have had a red card and he would have been suspended for the next, I don't know, sort of 2 or 3 games, wouldn't he, as well? So what do you make of that kind of passion that we kind of haven't seen from Alex Neil, have we? That showing that kind of that pride, And he mentioned as well, which I quite like as well, he talked about his roots. Coming up from from Scotland and perhaps not the so nice side of Scotland. And he mentioned about him growing up in a kind of tough area. And he said there's a lot of similarities in Millwall into how he was raised and the Scottish kind of clubs that he supported as a kid as well. So I think he kind of mentioned that there as well about having that kind of understanding about Millwall. And that's why he learned very quickly, that kind of Millwall way, and that's why it's kind of like embedded in him now as well.
I think there's a hint of with Alex Neil of, and I know this is gonna sound a bit of an odd thing to say, but I think there's a hint of him saying, "Hold on a minute, I'm doing quite a good job here," and I don't think he really gets the recognition from the outside world. We talk about Millwall as a whole, but perhaps we don't have, we don't have the best reputation. Someone said people just expect us to be this land of the giants, kicking everybody, dinosaur football. Alex Neil, he's got a over 50% win rate as Millwall manager.
So
If
good.
you look at how many points we've won since he took over the club, I haven't got this exactly to hand. He's won 24 games as Millwall manager. Now there's going to be a few in the cup in there, so you're looking at about 20
No,
games.
you're right. Yeah.
Roughly about 20 games in the league that he's won, right? Add in some of the draws as well. You're looking at probably nigh on 70 points since he's been manager of the football team. Okay, across 2 seasons, and it doesn't work from calendar year. You have to do it over an actual season. But he's probably thinking a little bit like, everyone talks about the job that Frank Lampard's doing with his squad, and the job that Rob Edwards was doing at Middlesbrough, but nobody really talks about Alex Neil. And I think that it was an emotional thing for him on Saturday. I don't mind it. I wouldn't want to see it every week. I'm with you there, Joe. But I don't mind it. I think it was absolutely brilliant. And he gets this football team. He gets the club. He understands what it means to the fans, I think. Yes, he gets it wrong from time to time, but who doesn't in world? Pep Guardiola gets it wrong sometimes, and it happens. So I think that Alex Neil is a top manager, and I said it at the time. I wasn't convinced when it looked like it was going to be him that was given the job. I wasn't convinced. Well, just like Femi Azeez, he's proved me, and I'm sure other people wrong, because he's doing a phenomenal job. And I don't mind. I don't mind him running down the touchline at all. I thought it was absolutely brilliant, and I've been petitioning on Twitter to try and get Millwall to release the footage of it, because they've got it. They've got a clip of it somewhere. They're waiting. They're just teasing us with it. But I think he's a top manager, and deserves all the credit that that's going to come his way, because he's turned us from a team that probably thought we should be challenging, but without really any hope of doing so, to a team that people are looking at going, Christ, we're playing Millwall this weekend. That's going to be a tough game. They're up the top of the league, and that's a massive, massive thing for us. So long may it continue.
Excellent. Cheers, that's Stato. And then Jesper, just with yourself, really, just your thoughts on the Alex Neil celebrations after Caleb Taylor's goal, and just his understanding of our club.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he's a human being. I think that's what he shows. He's, as Ben mentioned, he's always very calm and composed in his interviews and as a manager. So it's nice to see, because it also shows it comes from the heart. I think he did something similar, not running down the touchline, but there was something, a fly on the wall. If you sometimes watch that on Lions TV, there was a clip after the game against Leicester. That was another monumental effort where we won 1-0, and he was also screaming to the camera when he came in, which he usually doesn't.
That's right.
So I think he has that in him. These big moments. It gets to him, but in a good way. But as the lads say, in one of Nathan Jones' type, who just does it constantly for no reason. So. And another thing I want to say about Alex is also, we have to remember he came in midway through last season, where we were in sort of a turmoil, and Neil left, and he had to take over a team and make the most of what he could. We signed a lot of players in January. We signed again a lot of players in the summer as well. There's a lot of new players in this team that he has to build a squad around. And I think maybe the reason why some people are being a bit critical is probably when we lose big. We've conceded 16 goals in 5 games. When we lose, scored 1, and then we've conceded 9 when we're winning or drawing. That's in 13 games. So it's sort of either or. And I guess if we'd lost, like, I don't know, say 1-0, 2-3, maybe the conversation would have been different. But I would just say this: we're still a team and a work in progress. We're not the finished article. We're not Coventry, who's been playing, with the not same players, but sort of similar team for the last 2 or 3 seasons. We're not there yet. And that's why we will sometimes, when we get it wrong, we might get it horribly wrong. But I think, as Steven said, he's got the biggest win record as any Millwall manager ever. There's no one who's got more
You know
than 50%.
what? Sorry to interrupt you there,
sorry.
Jesper, but before I forget, you made an excellent point there, and it reminded me of what Alex Neil said today as well. He talked about building for the future, and he said where we are at the moment, we're not expecting this as a club, as our journey. We're not expected to be in position we're in, third, fighting for second place at the moment. He said where we are now is where we thought we'd be in 18 months' time. And he mentioned about us as a club having to to build players, sell them for a lot of profit, reinvest by players. He knows what the process and what the model's about. But what he's saying is we're ahead of where we thought we would be. Where we are now is where they thought we would be in 18 months' time, is what he said. Yeah. So it's incredible really when you think about it that we're doing that well, that we're even surprising. They're even surprised in how well we're doing and how advanced we are.
And the thing is, when you get better and you play better football and you win good games like we did against Southampton, we beat Leicester, expectations go up as well. So when you start to lose 4-0 at Birmingham, when you start losing 3-1 at Pompey, people are saying, well, what the hell is going on here?
You come back to earth with a thump, don't you?
Yeah, exactly. But that's where we are sometimes. We've got a lot of young players out there learning on the job as well, and they need to learn from these mistakes as well. These games where we lose heavily, and when you need to turn up on a rainy Wednesday at St. Andrews as well. These are the things that we have to go through as well as fans at the moment. But I'll tell you what, he will still win us more games than we will lose, and I think we're going to be in an excellent position come spring. I have no doubt about that, and especially when we start to get players back.
Well, I think he's got that stat, isn't he? Where I think he's second to Frank Lampard, has accumulated the most amount of points since the start of 2025. So it just shows.
That was that.
Yeah,
something like
He
6
also-
or 7.
He also, and I looked this up while Jesper was talking there, his win percentage with us is higher than what it's been in any of his clubs in English football. He had a slightly better record when he was managing in Scotland prior coming to Norwich. So it also, and the club get a lot of pelters for some of the decisions that they make off the field and some of the things that have gone in the past. Whoever went to Alex Neil's representatives, him, his agent, whatever, to get him on the shortlist for the job deserves a huge amount of credit. It's an amazing decision that someone has, whether James Berylson has gone out and said, I like this guy, I want to interview him, whether he was advised that it was that by someone else at the club. I don't imagine
it must have been Steve Gallen. I don't think James Berylson would have known who he is, would he? Really?
No.
I would have thought.
And I know that Gallen sometimes has had some stick in the past and some comments made and this, that, and the other. But just look at that decision just in isolation. He has earned more points than any other manager other than Frank Lampard in this division since he took over the club. It's a phenomenal decision.
Which is incredible. That 50% win ratio is kind of what you need if you want to challenge for promotion. You've got to be winning 50% of your games, haven't you? At least, And the position we find ourselves at the moment, we're very, very close to that second spot. Guys, the question I want to ask the listeners, and also my co-host as well, and so those in the chat, is it premature for us to say, can we believe? Now, I'm not talking about playoffs. I'm talking about automatic promotion. We know Coventry are running away with it at the moment. And when they asked Alex Neil today, what teams, not necessarily that he's fearing, what teams do you think we're going to be challenged for that second spot with? The two teams he mentioned was Ipswich and Birmingham as the two teams that he thinks squad-wise, they've got what it takes to challenge for that second spot. So it's interesting that he said that. And of course, we've got Boxing Day, we've got Ipswich at home as well, which is quite an important game. We've got Birmingham at home as well, which is going to happen. So I want to ask you in the chat, perhaps put a 1 if you think we're going to get up in the top 2, and a 2 if we're not. So it'd be interesting to see how we're thinking. I want to ask you guys as well, can we believe? Are we capable of that automatic promotion, guys? Or do you feel that maybe realistically, we've got a much stronger shot at staying in the top 6 and going through the playoffs instead? Start with Ben, yourself, mate.
Say your phrase, Ben. Say your phrase. Go on.
It's been on the tip of my tongue, mate. 100 points, 100 goals. I've just backed us to win the league. So, listen, why not? We're in a very good place. And I think we speak about it a lot, but when we talk about us in our league position, we don't really factor it in too much. We're third in the league. And we have everything pointing to the fact that we shouldn't be third in the league. And what I mean by that is we haven't been able to play a settled squad. We still haven't been able to play back-to-back games with the same 11. We have had a lot of players out injured. We're probably not playing our preferred formation. I have no doubt that Alex Neil wants to play 2 up top. Our main striker with Ivanovic has been out. You put all this in, Joe. I just think, listen, we're in a very, very good position with nothing really having gone our way yet this season.
That's true. Good point.
We're notoriously slow starters. We always perform better in the second half of the season. Again, why not? Why not? As I said, everything has kind of gone wrong that could have gone wrong this year, and we're still 3rd in the league. So, fuck it. Why not?
That's excellent. Love it. Ben's positive and optimistic. Stato, coming to yourself next. Before you do that, your fellow Stato friend, George, just asked, what stats do you use stats for? Stats?
Do I give all my sources away? Do I give all my sources away?
It's all up there, isn't it, Stat? It's all
absolutely,
up there,
100%, no. George, message me on Twitter after, and I'll we'll go from there. I'm not doing it on camera.
I have no doubt that Dean's the brains in the operation here, Joe.
Absolutely. I'm the front man. He doesn't want to go on the camera. He just tells me what to say.
His old man's sickly sat behind the whiteboard. Right,
exactly. Controlling things.
But
can we believe? Can we believe? Yes or no?
Right. I think we can believe. However, I will just curve that a little bit with, I would, if you offered it to me now that we finished 6th and just scraped the playoffs, I would take it all day long. I think that's got to be the mentality. You have to be aiming for the playoffs. If we keep up with the top 2, then why not go for it? Bring in players in January and really, have a big push for it. But if we're sat in at the end of April or beginning of May, whenever the season ends, and we're in that top 6, we have a phenomenal chance of getting promoted to the Premier League. And I think that that's got to be aim number 1. But if you can stretch that a little bit further, then I think this is the time to go for it.
Love that.
Yes, but before you answer, I just want to say, Joe, my answer there, Joe, was caveated. Do I think? Can we believe?
No.
Yes.
No.
Don't stand on the record and say that.
You can't.
Can we believe automatic?
Of course we can. I mean, the way the season. No, and the reason I'm saying this with confidence is because the way the season is unfolding it's so unpredictable. We've got one team who's very in form in Coventry, who seems to be smashing every team they play right, left, centre every weekend. Okay, that's it. But all the other teams, I mean, are losing. I watched Oxford Ipswich, and I thought they would win Ipswich easily, lose 2-1.
Good point.
We played the most informed team in the league in the weekend, win 3-2. I mean, this is up for grabs. Anyone who finds a bit of form can finish 2nd this season, I believe. And we haven't met a team yet where I thought, wow, they could run away with it. They could be 2nd. And I know it sounds ridiculous considering we lost 4-0, 4-0, 3-0, 3-1. I just, to me, they haven't been those sort of performances. And I haven't looked at the team thinking, wow, yeah, we deserve to get, maybe we did deserve it, but that was because we were piss poor on the day and not because the other team was very, very good. So yes, I think we can believe it's about staying in contact with that 2nd place over the Christmas period and going into January. If you're still in contact, within a 3-4 2-point range, then go for it. Then you should always go for it. Of course, you see how many games you can win. But I think, mentally, psychologically, you think, okay, there is actually a chance that we can get there. So it will be very interesting to see how December unfolds in terms of how many points we can get on the board. I think we're playing quite a few playoff contenders as well in Bristol, Ipswich. But it's very close up there. Anyway, we're playing Derby, right? We're playing Hull, Bristol City again, aren't we, in December, if I'm not mistaken, on the 29th. So, it will be very interesting to see how December unfolds in terms of the points that we will get when we enter January, for sure.
So we all say we all believe, yeah? We all believe?
Yeah.
I don't see why we shouldn't. I've just got on the...
No, you can't say that now.
I just looking at the form in the championship over the last 5 games. Take Coventry out because it's just absolutely ridiculous. Much like the league table, there's not much difference in the form from second right down to we're currently in the last 5 games, we're 15th in the league for our current form, and you look at that and you think, how does that ring true? Because we're third in the league. I think there'll be lots of teams, and I think the other thing to bear in mind that there'll be lots of teams like Millwall. I'll use Stoke, I'll use Preston, Bristol City. I think Hull, teams that are not your favorite big boys like your Ipswiches, like your Southamptons, that are looking at it going, this is our opportunity, this is our time to really have a go at this. And we're at the moment, we're making the most of it. I think Stoke are another team that are certainly making the most of it as well. They're playing very, very well. But I think if you listen to other podcasts up and down the league, unless you're on for the fans, I hate to say it, but unless you're on the Sheffield Wednesday podcast or Norwich at the moment, okay, they've changed their manager, lots of teams will be going, if we can just put some form together, we've got a real chance of the top 6. we found our way there by not playing very well. If we get some of our players back and are still in that position come January, who knows where we'll end up.
Yeah, excellent point. Start a very, very quick one. I want to end this show. We've gone past 90 minutes now. I mean, we literally played extra time, half an hour extra time. So, but I want to wrap this up before we get to the 2-hour mark, okay? Because it's going to look really shy when people go back to record this in 2 hours. So you know how I feel about that. It'll fuck up my OCD. So make sure it's under 2 hours, Stato. Quick one. Add up the scores. 1 for we believe, 2 we don't believe. John FC has gone for 2. Dave's gone for 1. Alex gone for a 2. Chris Brown 2. Andrew 2. Danny 1. Carl Bracey 1. Josie's gone for 2. Jeff Cook's gone for 1. I presume that's a 1 from George Hatch's Pistol League. B Line's gone for 1. Mark's gone for a 1. Dave's gone for a 2. Where else we got? Leon's gone for a 2. 1. 2. 1 for Gaz Lyon. 2 for Kenneth. 1 top 2 for John. God, here we go. Look, got loads coming through. 2 for Flatchy. I think that's kind of it pretty much. So, what are the saying, Sto?
That's got to be pretty level, isn't it?
It's 10-10. From what I can see, it's
really?
10-10.
No way.
Yeah, it's 10-10. Right, Joe, 1 or 2?
I'll go for 1.
Ben?
Oh, you need to ask me. 1.
Jesper?
1.
Right, well, the ones have won, and I don't have to answer, so that's absolutely brilliant.
You do have to answer. You do have to answer.
Go on, number 1. We'll make it a full hour score. We'll make it a full hour.
There you go. Bingo. But listen, we are in a very, very strong position. Like you guys say, I think at the moment, it's a great opportunity. We're never going to get an opportunity like this again. And I think consistency is important. Getting wins instead of draws is very, very important. You can forget the minus goal difference. It makes a huge difference when you win more games rather than draw games like we were under Gary Rowett. You can see what difference it makes to our position in the league. You know, you can lose games, but the key thing is just winning. Getting those 3 points makes a huge difference, doesn't it? Guys, Saturday, looking ahead, Bristol City away at Ashton Gate, 3 o'clock kickoff. I believe I'm starting with you, Stato, on this one. What can we expect against Bristol City? I mean, do you know if there's any players we need to watch out for? Anyone that that are key threats that could be on form at the moment?
Well, I mean, first of all, they're a side that clearly, like I said earlier, they're looking at the division thinking, well, hold on a minute, we've got just as much chance of any. They made the playoffs last year. Probably, I doubt we'll have any. Bristol City supporters in the chat, but Sheffield United made them look absolutely bang average in the playoffs last year. They probably didn't do themselves much justice over the 2 legs. So you have to kind of say that they'll be looking to be better this time around. They're 6th in the league, so it's a playoff clash. I think in terms of their squad, I think Scott Twine, I believe, is still on their books. Someone who's obviously very good. I think Mehmeti in midfield is a very good player. They
Remember he
signed,
scored against Portsmouth, didn't he? I think when they won 1-0 on Saturday, I think he scored, didn't he?
yeah, and I think so. And they've also got two players. One that doesn't it splits opinion with their fans, 'cause I've seen on Twitter, is that Sinclair Armstrong, someone I
Yeah.
actually thought would be a good signing, but hasn't
He
quite
terrorised
hit.
us when he played for QPR, didn't
Yeah,
he? If I remember.
yeah, he did. And they also have the guy from Preston that everyone wanted us to sign,
The Dane.
Emmy Reese.
Emil Rees. Yeah.
Yeah, the guy who at Preston, who so got some players to look out for. One thing I would say, and I say this in jest, but I also mean it. Can we not, for the foreseeable future, when Caleb Taylor gets the ball from 30 yards out, can we not yell shoot every on Saturday? Because I'm telling you, it's
gonna
not going to
happen every
happen. No, you just think of this, right? And I look back at this. How many free kicks did Shane Lowry take after that one at Charlton that
thought the same today.
ended up in
That's
the
true.
stand? He took every single one. It didn't do it again. So let Taylor have his
Good
moment
point.
on Saturday and get back to, we might not be scoring screamers every week, but I certainly think they've got some good players that they're sixth in the league. That there'll be someone that again, looking at us thinking, they'll be fancying their chances because they're at home, but we go there with nothing to fear. They're not Coventry. I think outside of Coventry, anyone in this, we can go to any ground in this division and win. And I think that's the mentality that we have to have.
Cheers, Stato. Jesper, coming to yourself next. I mean, it seems like their stats for scoring, conceding is very, very similar to our season, really. I looked at some stats earlier today. So they've had 232 shots this season, averaging 13.65 shots per match. And I think 3.65 of those are on target. We look at Millwall, we've had an average of 12.5 shots. So they've had 13.6. We've had 12.5 shots per match. The difference is those on target for them were 3.6. Ours are 3.8. So just marginally better. So we're slightly less shots than them, but we've got more shots on target they are. But what's also interesting is that they've had some big losses, I think, this season. Where they've lost by a few goals. I think they lost, was it 5-1 to Stoke, if I remember, in recent weeks, a heavy loss. We lost, obviously, 4-0 to Birmingham. So their season's a bit like us, really, where they score goals, they'll win games, but they could also lose quite badly as well. So I think Saturday is an important game. Maybe whoever scores first could potentially go on and actually destroy the other team and win it, couldn't they?
Yeah. No, you're right. I just, in general, I don't really look at the position of the teams that we're playing, because any team we play away from home or any team we play in this league, we cannot expect, like maybe we did a bit at Pompey, to just turn up and get 3 points. It's going to be tough no matter where we go. If we go to Norwich, if we go to Portsmouth, if we go to Derby, if we go to Bristol City, as we do on Saturday, where we got I think a mixed away record. It's not bad. It's not good. It's going to be tough anyway. So it's another game. Again, a playoff contender, but I mean, a lot of teams are at the moment because it's so tight in the league, isn't it? So a well-drilled team, as Stephen said, they made the playoffs last year. They will be looking to replicate that this year, probably, albeit with a new manager. I also believe that they, if I'm not mistaken, they actually played Sinclair Armstrong. We were talking about him on the left side in some of the games. They used him as a left winger. I think that's mainly predominantly because of his pace, probably because they play this sort of 3-5-2 system. I was really surprised to see him out there. Maybe I'm wrong, but it looked like he was playing as a winger. But he hadn't played much in the previous games, I think. But again, a very well-drilled side who's gotten off to a fairly decent start. It's going to be difficult. But again, we have to focus on ourselves, putting in a decent performance, and if we do that, there's no reason why we can't get 3 points. I don't know if we are looking to have anyone back, but would be nice for a change.
Well, I think Alex Neil came out and mentioned Billy Mitchell could be back for Blackburn, so definitely won't be back
another
for
few weeks.
Bristol.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is Zach Sturge? Would Zach Sturge be perhaps available?
So I saw him today. I don't know if I should share this, but fuck it, why not? He's back and available for the Bristol City game. So those 1 week thing where you can't play because of the concussion.
Isn't it?
Yeah, so he's available. So whether he gets picked or not to play, who knows? But
Joe Bryan, was he suspended for 1 or 3 games?
3 games, I think, wasn't it? Straight red.
Straight red, 3 games.
Yeah. And they didn't appeal it either. Guys, just want to answer Alex's comment here. So, what's the Palace thoughts on Taylor's disallowed goal in the first half? This is one, if you remember, where I think it was Tristan had the ball on. He ran onto it and got there before the keeper did. The keeper went down like he'd been shot, didn't he? What did you make of that disallowed goal?
Well, I saw it on TV and I thought it was a 50-50. I didn't think the keeper had his hands fully on the ball, but it went so quick. So I think 9 out of 10 times the referee was going to award a free kick to the goalkeeper.
And I'm right in thinking that he hit his knee, Jesper, as well. I couldn't see it from where I was sitting, but from the TV angle, it wasn't like he come with his foot high, was it? It's kind of
No. Who was it? His knee or his inside of his foot? Well, he didn't come with his studs first, at least that's for sure. He didn't nick the ball somehow, and you could also see from the reactions that the Southampton players weren't completely furious, probably knowing that this was a 50-50, but they did obviously try to make something out of it. But I don't know. It wasn't the biggest free kick I've seen ever, but you often seen the goalkeeper being given a free kick in those situations.
Yeah, nice. Cheers for that, Jesper. And Ben, just coming to yourself, mate, with regards to Bristol City game on Saturday. What's your thoughts on that game in mind?
Yeah, listen, it's going to be a tough game. Always is against Bristol City, isn't it? So, yeah, I was thinking about it when Jonesy was talking just then, and Jesper, and I was thinking, would I take a point? Probably. Listen, they're going to be a tough side. They've got what's his face that you mentioned, Memeti. He's good. I think he's got 6 goals this season. Jonesy mentioned Scott Twine. I've always liked him. They've also got Emil Rees, haven't they? Who we were kind of rumoured with the Alex Neil connection as well. So Alex Neil will know all about him from his time at Preston. So yeah, listen, it's going to be a tough game. As I say, I think I would probably take a point now. It's going to be a tough game, mate. It's going to be a tough game.
Nice one. Cheers. So, guys, we need to wrap things up. We're getting to the 2-hour mark now. So, obviously, before we do wrap things up, guys, in the chat, put your prediction for Saturday's game. And if you want to show off and put the goal scorers on there as well, please add those on there. And coming to you guys for score predictions. We'll start off with yourself, Stato, first on this one. What's your score prediction? And goal scorers, if you could name them as well.
For
us, of course. I do expect to name their goals.
I am in the camp with Ben to say that I would take a point on Saturday, but I will go 2-1 Millwall. I think I'll go with Jake Cooper to score the winner. After hold on, I'm going to tee you up, Joe. After if you'd like to share with the listeners that Mr. Zampa was giving coaching advice to Jake Cooper at the sponsors dinner on how to score more headers from corners. Joe, if you'd like to take that away.
So that's what Coops heard, everyone. Just nothing.
Yeah.
Just goes mouth moving, going like that. You're on mute, by the way. You're still on mute.
He's still on mute.
He's still on mute.
He's still on mute.
This is basically what Coops heard when you. There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm back. Back in the room. So I had my picture with Race Bangro Williams. I was going back to my table, and then I caught on the right of my eye that Jake Cooper was sitting on the table with his sponsors, but he was by himself, and he looked a little bit lonely and a bit bored. So as I sort of looked over him and he clocked eyes with me, he went, "All right, Joe, how's it going?" He goes, "How's the podcast going?" I thought, fucking, he remembered me, like from the interview I did with him. So of course I sat down. I thought I was invited to go and sit down and chat with him. So I was just chatting to him for a few minutes, and we talked about the penalty the other week against Southampton, and blah blah blah. And then I started talking about his ability to score from set pieces. And I said to him, I feel that when you're doing a standard jump, it's easy for them to mark you. Whereas if you're at the edge of the box and you make a run into the box from corners and go with your head, I think it's harder for them to stop you, and you might not get pulled or whatever. And we had this bit of a debate, and he was saying about how difficult it is to run in and leap and head the ball. It's often quite difficult. Some of it's easy to sort of do it from a standing jump or from the back post. So I was basically giving some coaching advice. And I said to him, listen, try it on Saturday. Do me a favour, run from the edge of the box, run in. Another thing he said, Alex doesn't tell him what to do. They decide what they want to do. So it's not like he's told where he's got to stand. It's up to him. So I thought even more so, listen to Joe Zampa. So I said to him, listen, run from the edge of the box, make a beeline, and then boom, head it to score. He goes, I'll try it. He goes to me. I said, if you do score and you get the winning goal, on your interview, you've got to say, thanks, Joe Zampa, for your coaching.
Haven't asked much,
honestly, and he said he will do it. He said he will thank me on the interview. So look, you know, I'm not saying I'll take all the glory, but I've got to take some of the glory, and if he does score from a header. That's all I'm saying.
All the glory.
Yeah. Jesper, coming to yourself, score predictions and goal scorers.
1-0 Millwall. I'm going to go with what Kenneth Mennett just wrote in the chat as well. Bangura Williams to score. Nick a 1-0 win, like we did a few years ago on New Year's Day.
That one there. We'll get to all of those in a second before we wrap up. Lovely. So we've got 1-0 from Stato, 1-0 from Jesper.
2-1 from me.
Was it 2-1? Jake Cooper. Who's the other one? Sorry.
We moved on to your coaching advice, so I will go Jake Cooper and Ballo.
Oh, I like that one. Ben, how about yourself?
3-0 win. Emakhu hat-trick. If you believe it. No, yeah, I'm with Stephen. I obviously said I'd take a point, but I'll go 2-1 as well. And I am going to go Femi and Dan Kelly.
Femi and Dan Kelly. I like that. that. I'm going to go for 2-1 as well. I can't see how we're going to keep Bristol City out. They are scoring a lot of goals at the moment. I'm going to go for 2-1. I'm going to go for Femi. I'm going to go for Jake Cooper, corner, in the 93rd minute, where he gets the winner, and he comes off, he runs in, and he rips up his top. He's got "Thank you, Joe Zampa" on there, and it's like, go to the camera. So, that's in my head, that's how it's all going to plan out. So, let's go to the chat, guys, to see how optimistic guys are. We've got George going for 2-1, Callum Taylor, goal from the halfway line this time. Neo's going for 2-1, 1-1 for Jeff Cook, 3-1 against Brazil from Colin, 3-1 win. 1-1 Ivanovic from Rob. Flucky's going for a 1-1. 2-1 Wall there for Andrew Cahill. No one likes going for a result, I presume. 1-1 Kelly from Danny. 2-0 Mark and Azeez from David. Colin's going for 3-1.
That one's happening, is it?
Neo's going for, was it Marco Brace? Just to piss Ben off from Neo. Ben Out's going for 3-1 Mill. Lots of 3-1 Mill Walls. Did you show him your goal, George? You know what, George? I was so close to doing it, but I thought, you know what, this competition is going so well, I didn't want to ruin it. So I kind of like left him. I was like, look, good luck for Saturday. And I kind of walked away really, really coolly. If I'd done that, I would have just ruined it.
Surprised you didn't collar Ivanovic, mate, and show him your movement.
Actually, it's not a bad shout, actually. I'll do it next time. Cooper in a 1-1 draw from Mark. From no lights. So that's the Callum to score. 1-0 from Kenneth Bangura Williams. 3-1 from Carl Bracey. These two Crama. Bipolar Millwall going to go and lose 3-0. Gaz Lyon. Come on now. Alex Mill said that. Joe, would you say that Crama's goal was a harder chance than your miss? That was an easy chance. Mine was going away from the goal, and I had to kind of like hook it back again. The angle was terrible. The angle was terrible. I tell you, in real time, and the ball was spinning. It was like wind. It was rain, hailstones. Honestly, the conditions were terrible. And it'll be funny, but Josh Coburn made a bigger miss against Burnley, didn't he, last season? So I'm not having that. And I'll tell you, you wait when I dig out Stato's miss. Then you're going to see 1-0 Coops from Andy. Win, and I'll start to believe. Right, guys, we've got a minute to go before we end. We've got to end this live. 1-1 Emakhu. Right.
I am also pointing out that I hit the target. It was blocked. I hit the target. There's a difference.
Mate, you had about 2 hours to put that one at the back of the net before the defender got back on the line. You gave him every chance to get him back before he blocked it. That's all I'm saying.
I still hit the target.
The defender's foot. Right, guys, listen. Final words from you boys before we say goodbye to our lovely listeners and to our audience. Starting with yourself, Ben. Start with you first, mate.
100 points, 100 goals.
There you go. You heard it here first. Cheers for that, Ben. And let's hope we get a good performance and some end product from Emakhu on Saturday. Coming to your next
Santa Claus is real, people.
Stato?
The Idemo and Mako Ballon d'Or redemption arc starts at the weekend.
I'd love to see that. I couldn't wait till Ben gets back on the live again after that. Can you imagine it?
Ben Green has left the chat, is what you'll say.
Cheers for that, Stato. And then Jesper, final words for yourself, mate, before we say goodbye to our lovely listeners.
Yeah, just stay behind the boys, keep believing, and just remember it probably will be a bumpy ride.
It may be, but I'll tell you what, if we beat Bristol City away, I think it's definitely on, isn't it? I mean, that's a big statement, and that'd be a great win and a great test for us as well. Not that kind of test, Alex. Not into the old
Alex, we got no chance, mate. Just before it gets 2 hours, we've got no chance, mate. I'm afraid.
Oh God, don't. I hate cricket. Right, listen, thanks. Yeah, again, cheers, David. Make sure you hit the like button on your way out. Don't forget. And make sure you subscribe as well. Thank you so much, guys, for being with us this evening. Really do appreciate it. Thank you so much. We'll be back next week. Oh, do we play next Tuesday?
Yeah, we're playing next Wednesday.
Wednesday.
If it's Wednesday, then we'll be back here live on Tuesday.
Yes.
So we will see you next Tuesday. So look, guys, thank you for being with us. Enjoy the rest of your week. Let's hope we get the 3 points on Saturday. On behalf of myself and all my co-hosts here, all you want to say is toodaloo.
Toodaloo, motherfucker.
Hey.